Welcome, students and teachers, to our virtual plant tour, MACF and JBT Aerotech. My name is Sherry Reeves. I'm the Executive Director for the Manufacturers Association of Central Florida, and I'd like to welcome everybody here today. And I'd like to introduce our plant manager, Josh Parkland, who's going to take it over. Josh.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. It's sure a pleasure to be with you and share a little bit about our company and as much about different jobs and opportunities in the manufacturing sector. I do apologize that we seem to be having some technical challenges, so some parts of the presentation will not be working properly, it appears, so apologies for that. However, we do have a video that we'd like to share with you that will give you some overview of our business. And then probably even more interesting, we have a number of employees here at JBT that will share with you their jobs and how they came into those jobs, and will be available for questions about education, advice, anything that you may have. They'll be happy to try to assist and add value for you. So I think that'll be a very interesting part of today's session. So again, I apologize for the technical challenges. I'm not sure that we're going to overcome them, but we will start with the video, and then we'll continue the presentation from there. Okay, very good. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of flavor of who JBT is, and we're going to go into a little more detail here. But first, I'll just take a pause. Do we have everyone with us? I saw some notes that maybe some of the students have been delayed. So are we able to hear from any of the classrooms to make sure they're seeing and hearing us okay? Amanda or Sherry?
Amanda is the director, so I would have to call on her.
Sorry, we have 56 on. You can see the attendees at the bottom. There's 56 attendees.
Okay, very good. Well, we'll continue. And I'll just start. Again, this is Josh Parkin. I'm the plant manager for JBT. And again, as I started off the call by mentioning we are having some difficulties. There's a PowerPoint presentation that we had intended to share with all of you that unfortunately didn't connect with the software properly. So we're going to just share with you some information quickly, but then we'll go right to some of our team members sharing with you their stories that will hopefully be interesting to this audience as you're thinking about what you may want to do with your futures and different jobs. So just a little bit about JBT. We're certainly not a company that most people would necessarily know as a household brand name. However, if you've ever ordered anything off of Amazon or had a cup of soup or drank some orange juice, you've done business with JBT maybe without even knowing it. We're a very diverse company, a worldwide company, publicly traded as well, all around the world, and we do primarily the aviation and food businesses. So we primarily do business with businesses. So as an example, the companies that you may buy your orange juice from, we help build the machines that squeeze the oranges to produce the juice. From an aviation standpoint, if you've ever been to the airport and looked out the window and seen different kind of funny looking equipment driving around that may not be familiar to you, many of those pieces of equipment we build as well, including the jetways or the boarding bridges that you would walk through, those tunnels that you walk through as you board the aircraft. We build those in Ogden, Utah, and around the world as well. So we have a big office and plant here in Orlando, Florida, and we build tractors and cargo loaders and aircraft de-icers, which again work on the airport and help move aircraft around. So when I made the comment, if you've ever ordered an Amazon package, it's likely that it was at one point transported on one of our loaders, or the aircraft that it came in was towed by one of our tractors, or if it was somewhere where there's snow, and that's not too often here in Orlando, one of our aircraft de-icers, which actually spray the snow off of the aircraft wings, probably help do that. We're one of the biggest companies in the world that does what we do. And again, we're located right here in Orlando. And I think what we want to share with you is that there are a lot of jobs to have. Certainly building products is a big part of what we do, but we have many jobs in many areas in addition to just on the plant floor that can make for really interesting and rewarding careers and jobs that some of you may be interested in. So I would just share quickly that we're again excited to have you here, and I'm going to turn it over now to some of our presenters and team members that will tell you a little bit about their story, who they are, and how they got into the role that they're in now. And again, really encourage you all to take advantage of these presenters. I know visually it's not what we hoped, but they are here and they want to answer your questions and give you advice in terms of what you may want to do or what actions you may want to take to follow in their footsteps. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to our Human Resources Director, and her name is Julie Phillips, and she's going to share a bit with you both about herself as well as being in Human Resources. She has a good perspective of the types of jobs we have here at JBT. So, Julie?
Thank you, Josh. It's a pleasure to be with all of you today. we wish that we could be with you physically so you can come and see our plant and witness all of our great people in action. So how did I get to JBT? I was born and raised in Youngstown, Ohio, so it's northeastern Ohio where there's a lot of snow and ice. And I've been in Florida for the last year and 3 months, so that is my tenure at JBT as well. I've actually lived in 8 states, and most recently I've been in Buffalo, New York for over 13 years. So the reason I moved to Florida was because Buffalo, New York is the snow and ice capital of the world. And actually I witnessed many JBT products in action before I even knew what JBT was. So as Josh said, I'm the Global HR Director. I'm responsible for about 500 employees worldwide and over 200 right here in Orlando. So I'm pretty proud of that fact. Description of my job, I'd like to tell you that I am a people person. So if any employee has any issues regarding unemployment, or they would like to get trained or promoted, I work with operations on a daily basis to make sure that if there's any issue that the employee has, that me and my team can fix that so that they're better prepared to go back to work and do a great job for JBT. So I'm pretty proud of that fact. What is my background? Well, I started off in college working for General Motors in Lordstown, Ohio. So I actually was in production in operations, and I was responsible for putting the back rear bumper on the 1987 Chevrolet Cavalier. So if any of your parents or grandparents maybe at this point had a Chevy Cavalier, please send my apologies, because I had no idea what I was doing. I was a summer intern and never really got trained to do that. So, but that's where my love of manufacturing grew from. My first job after I graduated with an economics degree, I wanted to be an international banker, and they said, hey, we have a job for you at a top-tier supplier of Mazda. And I thought, oh, great, maybe I can do some international finance or banking for Mazda. And they put me in the basement in the personnel department and said, we need you to file benefits reports. So for 2 years, I did that and never really looked for an international banking job ever again, because I found out that I really loved helping people. So I went, had a bunch of jobs all over the Northeast and down the Southeast coast. And actually my most world famous job was I spent about 2 years building a company in India for my last employer. And it was probably one of the greatest things I ever did. I learned a culture that I never knew that existed, new religions, new people, new ways of doing things, new laws. So human resources, I'd like to say, is almost recession-proof, because every company needs you. I like to say it's one of the most important parts of any job, because I'm dealing with helping people. So that's why I love my job so much. I love being here, and I love each and every one of my 200 plus employees. So my advice, if you ever want to be in an HR role, is, hone in your communication skills. I know English classes sometimes are really boring, and why do I have to write papers? It's so that you can learn how to communicate. And that's one of the most important things that I think I do here is I have to communicate. We have to, tell employees what's going on, especially in COVID, right? Everybody needs to know, what is the new protocol? I think we've had probably 15 different changes. We wear masks every day. We have to make sure things are sanitized. So you just have to make sure that you're a good communicator and have some empathy for people and people's situations, because not everybody, has a life like yours. So that's my advice. And if anybody has any questions for me, I'd be happy either to answer them now or at the end of the presentation.
What we can do is, I think on this application it actually is showing us some questions, so let's just take a quick second to look to see what questions we have so far.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing specific for Julie, but we'll keep an eye on the Q&A box. So please don't hesitate to write something there, and we're going to keep an eye on that as we go through. And we're happy to wait till the end, but we'll also address questions as we progress. So feel free.
Okay.
See a comment from Canon Cameron. Thanks for your comment, Canon. We're definitely an interesting time in the aviation industry right now. We're all experiencing. So I appreciate your thoughts there.
Okay.
So we actually just had some questions in. Thank you, Ms. Cruz, regarding what types of jobs do you have at JBT? So those are really good question, and then we've got some others popping in here. So good, I guess, the power of suggestion. So you want to start, Julie, since we've got you here, just to talk about the types of jobs that we have here?
Yeah. So we have many, many jobs at JBT. In operations, we have assembly, painting, welding, machining. Somebody has to look at the quality of our products. We have quality technicians. We have testers. Somebody that's going to actually test out these products before they go to any of our customers. We have warehouse and shipping. We have engineering, so it's mechanical, electrical, manufacturing, software. If you love numbers, we have jobs in accounting and finance. Love computers? We have a great IT department. Sales and marketing, you're going to hear from one of our engineers. You're going to hear from one of our accountants. You're going to hear from somebody in operations. But you like to make sales and wheel and deal. We have sales and marketing positions. You like to go out and service the customer. We have field service, customer service. All that will lead into leadership and management positions. Again, supply chain, planning, scheduling, human resources, my favorite, of course. But also in the operations area, forklift operators. Everybody says, well, I have to go to college. I have to do all of these things. Sometimes college isn't for everybody, and, jobs are needed. People are needed for jobs in industries, especially in manufacturing, because we need somebody to do a forklift operation. We need a welder. We need someone to paint. So sometimes, the best way of going through your career is college. Everybody says, oh, you have to go to college. But, some of our most important people at JBT don't have a college education, but they have worked, they've welded, they've painted, and they've got education within JBT.
Very good. Thanks, Julie. Great answer there. One of the other comments I'd just add on to, as Julie mentioned, there's a lot of jobs, some of them college degrees, some of them are technical degrees, and here in Central Florida, we have a lot of great options. Of course, you've got Valencia College, which has all sorts of options for you. One of the programs that we are closely associated with is their advanced manufacturing. They have some really great training centers, as well as the folks that they hire all come from industry. So they've all been there and done that, and they bring that firsthand knowledge to their students. And I can't remember their percentages, but it's something like 90+% of their people, when they graduate, have jobs already before they finish their classes. Orange Technical College is another example. I think we may have some representatives from that group on the call as well. They have some great programs as well that can bring in manufacturing. But as Julie mentioned, if you start and you work your way up, many of the people you're going to hear from today had some of their education, if not all of it, paid for by JBT while they were working. So a lot of companies like JBT have programs, so you don't have to decide right away. Find which job you like and then go study the thing you're most interested in. A lot of employers will help subsidize that education, which is a really smart way to do it. Okay.
We do train. There's a question from Anthony. Yes, Anthony, we do continuous training in lean. So we are a lean manufacturing company. So before COVID, everybody would go on a lean Gemba walk. And certainly if you want more information about that, you can message us and we'll be happy to talk about that. I've done lean for over 20 years and it works, and it's an incredible way to run a manufacturing plant.
Good. There was a question about, do we only do equipment for machines on the airport? And that is true for this location. So the people you'll be talking to today, most know that business, although JBT does a lot of other things. However, I will mention that we do special projects from time to time. So there's a certain business in Orlando that everyone comes from all over the world to come visit. So I'll let you guess which one. But when you ride from their parking lot to their front gate, you look carefully, it's actually one of JBT's tractors that will transport you there. So they do special projects from time to time, including some really well-known brands around the world, as I kind of alluded to. So good question about the type of equipment. And I'll just address another one real quick. Someone asked about where do you post your job listings? And again, I apologize because you can't see that. So I'm just going to say it very slowly. But we have a really good website that we post all of our jobs on. And that is www.j as in Juliet, B as in Bravo, T as in Tango, and C as in Charlie, jbtc.com. And when, I think all of you are probably pretty savvy on web. You can look for the careers tab there, and that will take you to our available opportunities. I'm going to move on now to our next presenter, just in the interest of time. We're going to keep an eye on these questions, so thank you, and keep them coming. Next we have, we're going to try anyways, for Lauren Lambie. Lauren, are you on the call? Are you able to speak? Give her a second. We do have a few other people. She's having issues, as I mentioned. We're having some technical difficulties. All right, well, we're waiting for Lauren. I'm actually going to ask Angel Irizarry to share. Angel is one of our assembly technicians here on the floor, and he's built both the ices and tractors. And I'll just turn it over to Angel to share his story with you.
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Angel Irizarry. I am from Dorado, Puerto Rico. My position at JBT is assembler. I've been with JBT since 2016. My current job at JBT, I build tractors. I work on the axle and the electrical tray, hydraulic tray. I run wire harness. I run hydraulic hoses. And basically, I can work on the whole unit. The most that I like from JBT, they give me the opportunity to work on different units, work on different departments like paint, maintenance. They give me the opportunity to travel to other states to make some other works. What is the most challenging? That this unit have a delivery time, and we try our best to finish on time for the customer satisfaction. My background. I went to MACF Technical College in Puerto Rico. I graduated from general mechanic. After that, I started to work on Meineke, and then I had the opportunity to work in Midas, American Muffler, Ocean Engineering, and now here at JBT. My educational background, I graduated from high school. I graduated from technical college. I went to barber school. Plus, I did 5 years in National University College in Puerto Rico and nursing concentration. And my advice for those people who like this career is to get a good education and work hard for what you want and never stop learning. That's one of the more important, because everything you learn is a tool for the future, and that helps you to open a lot of more doors for you to keep improving yourself. Any questions?
One of the questions that somebody just asked was, how long does it take to build one of your machines?
Well, all the units have different times, so that depends like what unit we're building. It can be around 4 to 5 days. So that depends what kind of unit we're working on.
Yeah, so certainly, it's just to add on to what Angel said, some units are a lot more complex or bigger than others.
Mm-hmm.
But his estimate's about right. It's usually about a week, and then hours, it can be anywhere from 100 hours of manpower in the plant. In some cases, it's 600-700 hours per unit, but we will add additional people to kind of keep the production line moving. It almost works like a conveyor belt, although it's not actually a conveyor belt. The equipment's too big for that, but we move the equipment through the plant and build it up progressively as it gets produced. And so we build them up, and then we test them, and then they ship out around the world. We have equipment in over 200 countries around the world operating for all the major airlines and freight forwarders. So the Deltas, United, American, FedEx, DHL, UPS. If you've ever heard of any of those companies, they are using our equipment every day. Somebody also asked a question about, are we built to order or keep inventory? So I would say that most of the stuff that we build is to order. It's not, some companies are specialty engineered, meaning that 100% of the product is specially designed for the customer. For us, I would say that we have a stable of products, but our customers customize them a lot. So it's kind of like getting a base vehicle or a car, but some people want fancy wheels, some want to get bigger engines, or maybe a convertible. In that scenario, we wait until the customer tells us exactly what they want, and then we build that. We do have some exceptions. Some customers just want a kind of a plain vehicle, like maybe you get at a car lot. It's obviously different, but I'm trying to use the analogy there, that have fewer options. But that's a very small percentage. 90+% of what we build is to a very specific customer requirement. Great question. Thanks for asking that one. More good questions here. So we'll do one more question before we go to our next presenter. The next question was, how many mechanical engineers are working in JBT, and how long does it take for them to build a part or maybe a car or a plane? So from a mechanical engineer standpoint, I won't be able to break down exactly how many mechanical versus electrical versus maybe aeronautics engineers we have. But our engineering team is somewhere around 30 or so engineers, and kind of a mix of software. And mechanical is a very common one because they can work on many systems, but we also have electrical systems, and we use diesel engines, and we have electric power. So engineering, even manufacturing engineering, people looking for how to most efficiently build product on the production floor. So there's a number of different engineering careers here, and engineering is a big part of it. All of our products are custom built using a lot of different components. And average de-icer product for us probably has about 2,000 unique parts that are assembled into a final product that goes to the customer. So a lot of complexity, and engineering is certainly one of our specialties, is doing that in a really good way. Okay, thanks. Some really good questions coming through. Really appreciate all of you doing that. So we're going to go next to Jennifer Madison. Jennifer, are you able to hear us and present?
Can you hear me, Josh?
Yeah. Yep,
okay, good. Okay, good. It's working. All right. I know that Lauren's having some difficulties still. Her and I are messaging back and forth, but welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is really an exciting opportunity for all of you young folks interested in marketing, or excuse me, interested in JBT, but I get to do, I feel like I have a really cool job. I am the Global Marketing Director of JBT. So all of these really cool products that we get to provide to the airlines, I get to do all the creative piece behind that. So as all of you know, we're very, you young ones know that the world is going very digital. So what I get to do is we get to have a very good social media presence. And we have a LinkedIn page that we post very regularly, 2 to 3 times a week. We have posts of the different equipment that we make in Orlando. our tractors, our de-icers that we've talked about. And we also have a Facebook page and a Twitter page. So we try to reach all of our audiences around the world. My background, I have a degree in aviation, and my master's is just in business administration. And I didn't come from a marketing background, but I've been put in the right places at the right time and have always in my life taken an opportunity. And opportunity after opportunity has led me to this amazing career that I absolutely love at JBT, and that I have the pleasure of working with all these great people and spreading the word and promoting our product that I believe strongly in. I love my job, I love what I do, and I absolutely love people that I work with. That's what I have. I've only been with the company a year, 15 months is all I've been with JBT so far. Yeah. Short and sweet.
Thank you, Jennifer. So one of the questions I thought you could address well is someone asked, did you always know what you wanted to be when you grew up? When you were younger, did you know? Did you think you'd be doing what you're doing now?
No, it's short and sweet. Life, as you get older, life does change and throw curveballs at you. But
You still there, Jen? Seems like we might be losing you.
At 15, 16 years old might not be what you end up in your 40s. So life is all about taking those opportunities.
All right, Jen. Sounds like somebody lost you there, Jen. So Jen, if you could go ahead and go on mute. Thanks for that information. We're going to go ahead and proceed. Melissa Spirit, are you online? Are you able to communicate with us today?
Hi.
Yay, hi, Melissa. Yes.
Yes, I am working. So I'm Melissa Cyrus. I work in the finance department. I've had kind of an interesting path as well. I started at JBT when I was 18 years old, working data entry. From there, I was not an accountant. I actually was in nursing school. And when I decided that wasn't for me, I didn't know what to do. Talking to some people, I decided to get a business degree. And then from there, I went into got my accounting. Once I got my accounting degree, I had a few managers in the accounting team that saw potential in me and gave me a chance. So I got my first promotion there. And then for the last 10 years, I've been kind of bouncing around in accounting to the point that up until recently, I don't even work for the Orlando plant. I've had the opportunity to work for plants all over the U.S. So I've worked for the New York facilities, the Ohio facilities. So I've gotten to really see how different things are handled. Most recently, I've come back to the Orlando team, and now I'm on the finance department. And key thing difference between accounting and finance is I was like, accounting is you're telling people what happened, and then the finance, they're trying to predict what's going to happen. So I spend a lot of my time working with the team to find out what's happening in the shop, how can we decide what our revenue is going to be going forward, and then explaining to senior management why we did or did not make our numbers for the month. That's kind of what I do in a nutshell.
Very good. So thank you, Melissa. We're continuing to monitor the questions if you have any specific questions for Melissa, but certainly one of the things that hopefully you heard from her was that, she had an idea, maybe what she wanted to do, or maybe found a company that she wanted to work for and started working right out of high school, and has really, she's not going to brag on herself, but she's someone who's done extremely well. She's highly respected by her colleagues, and she worked her way up into the organization, and JBT helped her through school. She's created a really great career for herself, and really a good option for a lot of people.
Hey, Josh, can you hear me?
For our presenters, I just ask if you're not actively presenting to put your lines on mute, just in case we're getting that feedback. Okay. Lauren, were you able to join us by chance? Lauren's one of our engineers. I know she was having a difficult time connecting with the presentation. Are you there, Lauren?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Excellent.
It's a miracle.
Go ahead.
All right. So my name's Lauren. I'm a mechanical engineer at JBT. I went to school at UCF. Originally, I'm from Naples, Florida. I did not start as an engineer. I was doing pre-med and I wanted to be a doctor and go to medical school. When I took calculus, I fell in love, and I know that sounds strange, but I really liked math and wanted a job that involved physics and calculating and problem solving. When I was in my senior year of school, I got an internship at JBT, where I worked all summer long and then into my fall and spring semester. Pulled back to part-time hours, of course, because I was still in school. And when I graduated, it was the perfect segue, and I got hired as a full-time mechanical engineer. School was really hard. It was challenging. Everyone's journeys are different. Some people can finish in 4 years. Some take 6 or 7. Some people start off as drafters, so they go to like Valencia and get a drafting designing degree. And they work for a couple years, and then they can go back to school and get their full mechanical or any engineering degree, actually. When I was in school, I was a part of the Society of Women Engineers. It's a club that we have there. Obviously, it's catered towards women, but we allow anyone to join. So we did have, men in our club, and it was just a really great way to network and learn and bounce ideas off of each other. There were, upperclassmen, and I could hear about their jobs and if they liked them and find out what companies to work for nearby. So I definitely suggest getting involved in clubs when you are in school. So my role at JBT, I'm a mechanical design engineer. I help take products from, ideas to address industrial needs, customer needs, or just, things that make the machine work better. And we create 3D models in a program, and then we create drawings, kind of like big blueprints. And that gets through purchasing and sourcing and eventually our factory line, and it comes to life.
Okay. Thank you, Lauren.
Yeah.
Are there any questions for Lauren? Just continuing to monitor. I see some people had to leave because the bell rang. I'm not sure how many schools we have on, but I know some students maybe had to transition. I think we were told we had till 2:30. Amanda, any commentary? Whether we should have a little more time or whether we should start to wrap up.
You still have 40. You had a few leave. We still have 46 on. But yeah, you have until 2:30.
Okay, excellent. Very good. All right. So I guess this is Josh Parkin again. I started the call. Since we just have a little bit of time, I'll share a little bit about my story as well. I wasn't sure whether we'd have time to do that, but so I grew up in Oregon, fair distance from Florida, and started my first manufacturing job was actually in high school at 16. Worked for a company that did a lot of different things. They had a machine shop, and they built drive shafts for ski boats, but they also actually made pieces of dentist chairs, believe it or not. Somebody has to do that. And we made parts of knives for knife companies, and if you've ever seen like Leatherman's, they built parts for those and some of their competitors. So did that in high school. That was my first exposure to manufacturing. Was very active in sports as in high school and before that, and ultimately swimming was my main sport, and it took me to the University of South Carolina, where I studied business directly after high school and swam throughout my college career. While still in college, I did an internship, which I definitely recommend to all students. Getting a job, getting work. It may not be the best job that you want to do that for the rest of your life, but sometimes the worst jobs can be the most educational in terms of helping you decide what you want to do and maybe what you don't want to do. Also, the types of managers you like and don't like, and helps you decide what kind of manager or employee you want to be as well. So every experience you have, you learn from. But certainly the case with JBT. You maybe heard some examples of that with Lauren, but it's true of many companies. Internships lead to jobs. That was true for me. I did an internship in college, and then that's the company that I went to go work for 6 years after college, and got a lot of opportunities as a result of that experience. So definitely recommend any sort of internship or work study or anything of that nature. I definitely suggest, and it can be very defining for you. After that time with a company called Evergreen as an aviation company, that's when I came to work for JBT here in Florida. And I've been with JBT about 10 years. I was very fortunate that JBT afforded me the opportunity to go get an MBA at University of Central Florida, go Knights. Really great experience while continuing to work full-time and going to school and learning new principles on how to run our business. It was really helpful. I apply those skill sets every day. JBT is a really interesting company because of our diversity and the number of things we do. I like to say we're big enough to have a lot of resources to go do really interesting things and big projects, but we're small enough that everybody in our business makes a difference every day. If Angel comes in and has a good day, we get products built on time and on quality for our customers. And if he has a bad day, the opposite could be true. We all really make a big impact. And I think there's something so gratifying about working somewhere where you can see the results of your efforts. And manufacturing is one of those industries where that's so true of. We have raw metal coming in one side of our building, and on the other side, we have practical pieces of equipment that can be used for things and be productive out in the world. And knowing that you're a part of something and making something that does work and creates value for people, just a really satisfying feeling to see those things rolling off and going to be put to use somewhere. Working for a global company has its advantages too. Being still a relatively young person, I've traveled to over 45 countries around the world for work and seen a lot of really neat places, and the experiences you have being able to do that, as you've heard from some of these other presenters, are really hard to replicate anywhere else. So again, just to echo some of the other presenters that you heard, take opportunities, say yes to things when you see them. They may not be what you ultimately want to do when you grow up, but they will help define your path. And you never know until you do something. There's so many great opportunities and career paths out there, and until you go try something, it's hard to really know what that fit will be. And I'll just end with a quote from Vince Lombardi. It's one of my favorites. Not whether you get knocked down, but whether you get back up. And in life, in so many factors, whether it's work life or at home or everything in between, it's so true. It's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up. And just encourage you all to keep trying and keep positive attitudes. It's been an interesting year, interesting being an understatement. And we're all going to learn from this, and we're going to come out stronger. And just encourage you to keep trying and keep looking for opportunities and And hopefully, although just digitally, we'll get to meet in person someday. And please take advantage of the presenters. I think there's ways for you to reach out and get in touch, worst case, through our website. And we'd be happy to mention you. We do have internship opportunities for high school students at times, as well as college students. And again, hope you all consider or have a new insight into the manufacturing industry and JBT. Thanks, everyone, for your time and participation.
So, Josh, one of the main themes that I heard today was at JBT, Aerotech, everybody has a passion, and their passion is their job, and working together and helping to make your company the best it can be.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's so true. And as you kind of heard in the video entry as well, it is our people. Yes, we build a lot of machines, but it's people that make the company. And, you know, we tend to have people here for a long time. People come and work here, and that says a lot, that they enjoy their time, enjoy what they do. Work shouldn't be something that you're, denying or not wanting to go to. It should be something you look forward to getting up in the morning and going there. And I think that's true for a lot of people here. Good observation. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, that everybody has a passion. The one question I have, Josh, where's the pizza at? That's right. Yeah, you've had a few slices on us in past years. We wish we could be. Usually we do pizzas when you come to the plant. So that'd be good motivation for you classrooms that are still online here. Come do a physical factory tour. We let you operate some of the equipment, and we definitely buy lots of pizza. So we're missing that this year. Some of our employees as well. It's a great tour. It's a lot of fun. It's cool. And again, Josh, I want to thank you and everybody that's involved that participated in today's virtual webinar. Obviously, it's not like walking through the plant, but we did get a feel of what you guys do. And we just thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to participate. Thank you so much. And Amanda, thank you for being our director. Thank you, Sherry.
Thank you, Sherry.
For all you guys at MACF. This is a great program. You guys have a great afternoon, and thanks again, everybody. All right, you all too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.